I must decide the question to serve God or Toyu, to go to war or not to go. Perhaps I am a peasant. I am appointed mayor of a village, a judge, a juryman. I am obliged to take the oath of office, to judge, to condemn. What ought I to do? Again, I must choose between the divine law and the human law. Perhaps I am a monk living in a monastery. The neighboring peasants trespass upon our pasturage, and I am appointed to resist evil, to plead for justice against the wrongdoers. Again, I must choose. It is a dilemma from which no man can escape. I do not speak of those whose entire lives are passed in resisting evil, as military authorities, judges, or governors. No one is so obscure that he is not obliged to choose between the service of God and the service of Toyu in his relation to the state. My very existence, entangled with that of the state and the social existence organized by the state, exacts from me an anti-Christian activity directly contrary to the commandments of Jesus. In fact, with conscription and compulsory jury service, this pitiless dilemma arises before everyone. Everyone is forced to take up murderous weapons, and even if he does not get as far as murder, his weapons must be ready, his carbine loaded and his sword keen of edge, that he may declare himself ready for murder. Everyone is forced into the service of the courts to take part in meting out judgment and sentence, that is, to deny the commandment of Jesus, resist not evil, in acts as well as in words. The soldier's problem, the gospel or military regulations, divine law or human law, is before mankind today as it was in the time of Samuel. It was forced upon Jesus and upon his disciples. It is forced in these times upon all who would be Christians, and it was forced upon me. The law of Jesus, with its doctrine of love, humility, and self-denial, touched my heart more deeply than ever before. But everywhere in the annals of history, in the events that were going on about me, I saw the law opposed in a manner revolting to sentiment, conscience, and reason, and encouraging to brute instincts. I felt that if I adopted the law of Jesus, I should be alone. I should pass many unhappy hours. I should be persecuted and afflicted as Jesus had said. But if I adopted the human law, everybody would approve. I should be in peace and safety, with all the resources of civilization at my command to put my conscience at ease. As Jesus said, I should laugh and be glad. I felt all this, and so I did not analyze the meaning of the doctrine of Jesus, but sought to understand it in such a way that it might not interfere with my life as an animal. That is, I did not wish to understand it at all. This determination not to understand led me into delusions which now astound me. As an instance in point, let me explain my former understanding of these words. Judge not, that ye be not judged. Matthew 7:1. Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Luke 6:37. The courts in which I served, and which ensured the safety of my property and my person, seemed to be institutions so indubitably sacred and so entirely in accord with the divine law, it had never entered into my head that the words I have quoted could have any other meaning than an injunction not to speak ill of one's neighbor. It never occurred to me that Jesus spoke in these words of the courts of human law and justice. It was only when I understood the true meaning of the words, resist not evil, that the question arose as to Jesus' advice with regard to tribunals. When I understood that Jesus would denounce them, I asked myself, is not this the real meaning? Not only do not judge your neighbor, do not speak ill of him, but do not judge him in the courts, do not judge him in any of the tribunals that you have instituted. Now in Luke 6:37-49, these words follow immediately the doctrine that exhorts us to resist not evil and to do good to our enemies. And after the injunction, be ye therefore merciful as your Father also is merciful, Jesus says, judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Judge not, does not this mean, institute no tribunals for the judgment of your neighbor? I had only to bring this boldly before my